You're watching Fanboy Versus with your hosts, JD Church, Nicole Hale, Chris Triplett, and Chris McFeely.
And you are watching Fanboy Versus. I am your host, JD, Chris Triplett, Chris McFeely, Nicole Hale. We're here. How's it going?
Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
So it is Fanboy Versus Horrific Nightmares. As we will be discussing Batman at the end of the show, which almost made me physically ill.
Wow.
I'll just say that.
Kind of woman.
Shut up. It was gross, dude. This is like real Batman. This is like Batman, but this is not an Elseworld story, alright? This is like Batman. And it was creepy.
I take it was Batman.
God.
It was Batman.
But not, but you know, we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. But first, what news then, sir?
Actually, no, I don't want to alarm anybody, but special news about comics this week.
Comics?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I read those. I didn't know there was news about them.
I know. Well, remember the two one-word teasers from Marvel that we talked about last week?
I remember that we talked about them. I don't remember what they are. XX was one, wasn't it?
It was, and that one has been confirmed to be an X-Women comic book.
Woo.
The speculation on that was correct. It is just... There's a... I can't think of the correct term to describe the thudding nature of the fact that it's just adjectiveless X-Men relaunched with number one. As part
Yeah,
of
I hate that. It needs to be X-Women.
Why
X-Women.
isn't it
That's a
X-Women?
good title.
Yeah.
Why isn't
Like,
it
that would've
X-Women?
been-
That's a good title.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant. I mean, that would have made a lot of sense. So it's just X-Men, but it's not men, it's women.
Yeah. It's
Really?
Men, and it's the entire female team. It just sort of annoys me more that they didn't have the confidence to launch something under a new title, and they had to actively relaunch one of the satellite titles of X-Men that people have already been saying for a while now. Why is this? Why do we have this book? You know, we've got Wolverine and we've got Uncanny, we've got all new added now. X-Men Legacy still exists, although to be fair, it's not a book about the X-Men anymore. We have Astonishing, which is still supremely pointless. Astonishing and Adjectiveless have been the two books that have no creative remit or, you know, goal or purpose or anything to actually distinguish them from the main books. And they've done pretty good at the minute now about giving Wolverine and Uncanny an all new different remits and different reasons to be. And I don't think It's About Girls is a good enough remit to relaunch X-Men.
No.
But
And-
it's happening anyway with a really good creative team of Brian Wood and Olivier Quibble. So
You know, X-Ladies would have been a good title also. X-Ladies? I would have bought that also.
Marvel definitely already have the copyright on X-Women, though, because they did a one-shot called X-Women a little while ago, which makes me surprised they didn't, renew it.
Because, again, that would make sense.
Well, either way, the other one-word teaser, you may recall, was the Big Purple Rebirth. And turns out the theory was actually correct on that one. It is a new Thanos origin miniseries called Thanos Rising.
By Jason Aaron.
Jason Aaron and Simone Bianchi. Yeah,
Oh, man. Talk about, hey, you're going to buy this because we told you. It's like, because we made it where you have to. Wow. That sounds good.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, I think I will be.
To go hand in hand with that, we also got news of a couple of cancellations out of Marvel. Speaking of satellite X-Men titles that don't sell, Extreme X-Men, which was the alternate universe X-Men from an X-Men, or was it an Astonishing X-Men story arc, masquerading as Exiles, has been cancelled.
Was that the
Age of
gray
Apocalypse.
suit ones?
That was the Claremont book, wasn't it? Wasn't Claremont writing that?
Exiles was Claremont for a while. It was Greg Pak. He wrote a story in Astonishing X-Men. I think it was Astonishing X-Men. Yeah, we then introduced an alternate universe and its X-Men characters. And it decided to send them multiverse hopping. Basically, it was an attempt to relaunch the Exiles property for the fourth time, and they put X-Men in the title, so obviously that would make it sell. I still don't know what they were thinking with that one. And the Age of Apocalypse has been cancelled as well. Those are engaging in a crossover with Astonishing X-Men called Exterminated, or is it Extermination? And obviously they'll be terminated off the back of that one. So a little surprising Astonishing isn't going with them, but there you go. That's in April. I currently have bets on that May will bring us X-Men Exiles #1 and X-Men Ages of Apocalypse #1. We shall see.
Oh God.
God.
Yeah, I like the X-Men, but I'm getting close to being X-Men out because I'm doing all new X-Men, Wolverine the X-Men, and I will probably try Uncanny X-Men just to see how that goes.
Do you know how many X-Men completists there are? I mean, they've got to be at this point they've got to be on their third mortgage or something. I mean,
Yes.
I think that Marvel has punched them out of existence with the way they have wrung the brand dry.
yeah.
The only
problem
book they
is that-
need is Wolverine and the X-Men. That's really the only X book they need.
The problem with it is, and it is something Marvel have. I can't really say, but the X-Men line. I think it's true with the X-Men line. Even they're trying to get that market by doing this thing that they do now, where they just call it Avengers, blah, and X-Men, blah. They don't give them titles. They lump them in with these greater franchises to try and give them name penetration. And it's something that Marvel obviously did suffer with Fear itself, as an example, where they did so many tie-ins and so many satellite books and so many things with that in the phrase. It forced the people who would normally buy everything to step back and go, this time there are way too many of these. I can't buy all of these. And it forced them to actively scrutinize what they were going to buy, and then they wind up buying a lot less.
Oh, yeah, because once you stop that completist,
Yeah, that's
thing,
it.
that's it.
That's just the thread that unravels the whole thing.
yeah.
But we'll see what they do. Other news out of Marvel: September solicits Age of Ultron continues. We're not. It's going to be 3 times a month, obviously. So that starts in March and carries on through April and June. 10-issue series. And they're doing. It's another weird one. It's kind of like what I was just saying. That the tie-in issues for Age of Ultron are labeled. They're not standalone. Well, they are standalone one-shots, but they're not Age of Ultron Fantastic Four #1. They're not that,
Okay.
They're Fantastic Four number, and then the number of the issue of the comic that comes out that month, AU. It's like a .1, but it's like number 5 AU.
What the hell?
I know, it's
Okay.
a rather blatant attempt to trick people into buying them because it makes it appear that they're part of the series.
I hope in the Fantastic Four issue,
Well-
the family's still on Earth or something. It's like something stupid like that where, they never left.
Action is writing the Fantastic Four one.
Well, and that would
Dan
seem.
is not writing the Superior Spider-Man one.
My thing is, it always comes down to polls. Does that mean that, if I have a Spider-Man pull, does that mean that, if there's a Spider-Man AU,
Probably.
that means it's going to come out of my pull instead of, unless I, because normally you would subscribe to the event.
Yeah, but it's listed. That's the trickery, But it's written by Chris Yost, so you want it.
Well, I do want it. I'm just saying, I'm thinking about other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's there's, to be fair, there's only 2 or 3 a month so far, so it's not like it's chronic or anything. I mean, this month's are Fantastic Four, something else I've already forgotten, and a one-shot about Victor Mancha from Runaways, which I will also buy, even though the writer is currently TBD, which never bodes particularly well for
Oh, man.
Yeah. But it's nice to know they haven't forgotten Victor exists and would be relevant in this crossover. So let's see. Is there anything else from the? That's about it from the April solicits from Marvel over at DC. DC hate everything good. Me personally,
Yeah, sorry, guys.
as it has been announced that Superman Family Adventures is ending.
Boy, they didn't give any time to that, did they?
They. I'm assuming, to be fair, to be as bitterly fair as I possibly can be, I'm assuming that is ending as a precursor to the launch of a new all-ages Superman title that will look more like the film that kids will then recognize as Superman after they see the film.
Yeah.
That is mine.
I just figured the regular Superman book sucked so bad that it sucked that other book out of existence.
Yeah.
It was just like this eddy, and it just was caught on the edge.
It's like, actually, this book was okay, but the other book made it suck so bad.
It's like Action Comics by Grant Morrison was what was kind of keeping that book, tethered to this reality. But like his last issue's coming out, so like it lost its straitjacket, and it's like,
Right.
I heard a rumor going around as well that Grant Morrison might be getting one more issue on top of his next one. Just a rumor, but
Wow.
they've already solicited issue 18, which is the weird thing. But
Now I'm imagining Grant Morrison's Superman dangling from a cable and holding on to Superman Family Adventures. I will let you go!
Action Comics number 18, GM for Grant Morrison.
Grant Morrison, yes.
Ah.
Yes. Ha-ha!
well, Superman Family
Topical.
Yes.
Superman Family Adventures is not the only book on the way out either. Sorry, cable issues. There we go. April is also marking the end of iVampire. DC Comics presents, and over at Vertigo, Paul Cornell's Saucer Country as well.
Oh, yeah, I heard about Cornell Saucer Country. That's
I'll probably pick up the trade of that now, to be honest, because I thought about getting it, but I had like too much that week or that month or whatever, and I didn't, and I'm like, I should read that, so I might just trade it. iVampire is the one, well, I can't say it surprises me because it sells beans, but critically it was quite well received. And DC Comics Presents seems like a bit of a disappointing loss because, well, I never felt DC were doing the full extent of what they could with that book.
I give you that. They kept going with these like weird story arcs for stuff that nobody cared about. It's like that would seem like the great venue to do like crossover stuff or world building, and it just didn't feel like they were doing it.
At least 2 stories in an issue. Or like 4 short stories.
Yeah, that would go well too. But I mean, like I said, to do some world building, because again, I think we've said part of the problem with the DC universe is it doesn't seem big enough. It doesn't seem as interconnected as it should. Like all the stuff sort of linking together. The little worlds are their own things. The Green Lantern world is its thing, and the Batman world is its thing. But and then
There's
some
books that didn't come out that we kind of should come out, which. That was its place, like some books.
Yeah.
Like where's the Doom Patrol book, for example?
Yeah.
Doom
Patrol would have been a good New 52 book, but they didn't do it.
Yeah, but it would have been great in Presents for like 2 issues or something. But they were doing these
DC
like 4.
Just launched Threshold now, which is a 2-story book, but it seems to be entirely sci-fi stuff.
Okay.
Space-based stuff. There's a Larf Lee's backup series in it though. So
yeah.
Presumably, that's 2 series out of the New 52 gone. So presumably, at least Lee and Snyder's Man of Steel will be one of those.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the other one will be. We'll see next month or within the next little while if there's anything new to be announced there.
Booster Gold.
Unlikely.
we need a Booster Gold book. I can't read about him
Jack
anywhere.
is busy on Firestorm.
Well,
I wish.
The thing is, they canceled Booster Gold as soon as I started reading it.
Oh.
No.
I wish that a Booster Gold team up book where he teams up with Superman every issue. That might.
And have it drawn by Dan Jurgens? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He writes it and he draws it. He teams up with him every issue. Every issue, he has to create a reason why he's teaming up with Superman. Oh, I was in the distant future, Superman. I didn't know you was here. Well, I was fighting Brainiac in the future. Let's team up.
Yeah. Go for that. I don't care. It's Booster.
Yeah.
Oh, my timelines got collided by Grant Morrison.
So you said something on Twitter this week, and I don't know if I got an explanation for it, Chris McFeely. Flash and Dial H?
That's another one. Flash he's not just in it, but he's in something else as well, but I don't care what the other thing is. He's going to be in Dial H that month, yeah. So
what?
That'll be the beginning of the slow death of Dial H, probably.
What's? I mean, do we know why? What's going on?
No, I don't know. I averted my gaze from it. All I know is that it's happening. Something.
This breaks my heart because everyone I know that reads Dial H loves it, and more people need to be reading it.
But
Save
don't
it.
don't taint it with this silly New 52 world.
Yeah.
It's just clearly a Vertigo book, you know?
Yeah,
That would have been a Vertigo book 16 months ago.
sure.
And now it's not, and look, The Flash.
Ugh.
But last month's solicit for that month's issue of Flash, for the March issue of Flash, mentioned something about changing the world of Dial H. ... Question mark, Dial H. So he's in, coming off of the back of whatever happens in March's issue of Flash, he's in Dial H for April. Which seems like a chronically bad idea, but I'll wait to see how Mayville plays it.
Yeah. Although he could get into an interesting fight with Centipede.
Yeah, but
That
he'll
would be
probably
really
be done by that stage. He's
Yeah.
probably not in that story.
He'll be dead by then.
I wish Dial H could maybe make Flash a better book. Is that possible?
Is it possible? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it still have Barry Allen in it?
Oh no!
Oh, low blow.
That showed you, DC.
Wally West.
Wait.
I missed you
Who's
so
Barry
much.
Allen? Who's Barry Allen?
Oh, God. Oh, wow. Any controversies this week that we need to know about?
No, not that I've noticed.
Wow.
It's nice.
That's a first.
It's nice to
God.
just have a quiet week where some news about comics gets announced.
There's like no controversy about somebody saying something derogatory about women in comics or something.
Not that I've noticed.
Not that they haven't, but it's just like not been. At least
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I'm sure somewhere out there someone has,
Yeah.
and someone has had a typically overblown response to it. But
they're probably too worried
whatever
about
it is,
keeping their guns this week.
whatever it is,
no.
Gail Simone hasn't tweeted about it. So
Yeah.
I just glad Gail Simone didn't get fired and rehired again.
Yeah.
Damn
Gail
it.
Simone is fucking
What the hell?
invincible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted Gail Simone so badly to go and write my Punisher comic for Marvel, and that's not going to happen now, I guess.
I mean, she's not under exclusive. She could, theoretically.
No, yeah, that's true. She's not. I don't
really?
think so.
Oh,
no. I mean, her DC exclusive was up, but that doesn't mean she, just because she's come back onto Batgirl, I don't believe she's hired, done
I don't think there's a new contract. Yeah.
yet or anything new.
Well,
So.
Gail, I want you to write Punisher, and I want you to write She-Hulk, because, by God, She-Hulk needs a monthly comic.
It's Marvel now. Give it to me.
You guys
Yes!
need She-Hulk, man.
Marvel now is the time to experiment again. It's been a little while since Marvel was willing to throw a lot of mad shit at the wall. Let's go back to Quesada J-Mass days and just Marvel now. Throw the stuff at the wall. I'm sorry, Fearless Defenders. You probably won't last. I'm sorry, but at least
What you need is more experimentation. You need more experimentation like Nova by Jeff Loeb. That's what you need.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, man. Woo!
but by experimentation you mean like Frankenstein, like just cobbling together awful people and awful things and just trying to revive something
I tell
that
you.
just should stay dead. Yeah, that's a kind of experimentation. Yeah.
It's the light of my day, man, when I'm reading my Marvel comic and I open up to that like full page Nova. I'm like, yeah! Can't wait for that!
Oh
Woo!
yeah, that will probably sell.
Oh God,
It
that's
annoys
true.
me
That's
that
also
I'm not usually the kind of guy who like hates things for existing or gets annoyed if things that I don't enjoy succeed, but that will annoy me.
Yeah,
Succeed.
seriously. Yeah.
Bendis' Guardians of the Galaxy, not so much. Frankly, it's like after being really fed up of Bendis for the last little while, it's like as soon as I'm not reading his books, it suddenly seems like they're interesting again.
Damn it.
Because
No,
it's like
it's
Uncanny.
not-
It's like I was really going, oh really? They're really relaunching Uncanny, and they're putting Bendis on that. But hell, after 6 issues of all new X-Men, I think he's earned the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it's not been bad. X-Men's been pretty good, I think. I'm interested where they're going with it.
He's
not
earned the
reading any
benefit of the
X-Men
doubt
right now.
off of his work on the brand so far. So, and Guardians of the Galaxy might be good. But Nova.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. All right. Well, let's talk about things that we like then. Chris Triplett, what do you have for us this week?
I can only talk about things that I like.
Well, things that we want to talk about.
Yeah, I know. Well, I like Mark Waid's Indestructible Hulk. And I'm not going to talk about it in detail, but I thought it's worth mentioning that, hey, that book is still out. It's at number 3, and it's still entertaining. And it's still basically what I thought it was going to be. It's Hulk, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And are you reading it, McFeely? Have you been still picking it up?
There's another one is like Hawkeye. I should be, but I'm not getting it. But I did look at this issue, so
okay.
I do know what happens in it.
Do you remember the Quintronic Man? Because I have no idea who this is.
I have no idea.
Yeah, so like basically, there's a situation where AIM is like kidnapping this scientist, but S.H.I.E.L.D. Does this situation where they spoilers for the book, but they switch him out with Bruce Banner, and they basically make Banner into like a Hulk bomb. You know, like they pick him up, and then like when they get him into the AIM hideout, he hulks out and just tears it to shit.
Oh my god!
It's like the whole point of it. That was like a game was like going to kidnap the guy because he's like the lone survivor of a group of AIM scientists that built this giant robot. And this is where it gets like Transformers related right here. Like when you're thinking like Gestalts and like Bruticus and things like that. They built this giant robot that could be piloted only by 5 people.
That's Voltron.
Seems efficient.
Yeah, it's like Voltron type stuff. But what happened was 4 of them died, and their corpses are still inside the robot.
Oh.
And so they need the guy to pilot it. It's just crazy. It's the Quintronic Man, and they think it's going to be able to beat the Hulk. It's just crazy, wacky Mark Waid ideas, and it continues to be like...
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It continues to be a great book, and I really enjoy it. But the real book I was going to kind of hit on was Daredevil, which is also Mark Waid. And the only reason I wanted to kind of hit on it was because, dude, it's like guest starring the Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The Superior Spider-Man is being sent after Daredevil because everybody thinks he's lost it. He's crazy or something. And we got the great end page of the last issue where he's like, I will hunt him down and destroy him or something like that. And basically that's what it is in this issue. Spidey's going after him. Doc Ock Spidey. And I just love it how it continues to do the thing where he does not talk like Peter Parker. Because he says stuff, the die is cast, Daredevil. It's like he's talking all super villain, and Daredevil's totally picking up on it. And Stiltman shows up in the issue, and what is the first thing Stiltman says when he's trying to steal something from somebody? The die is cast. This is a mid-air bond heist, Walter. Hand over the briefcase, I'll hurl you to the ground. It's just great. It's mostly just a fun little hey, superheroes fight, but one guy's not really a superhero, but Daredevil doesn't know it, and hey, everything kind of gets worked out in the end. But it's fun. It's a fun comic. It's I would think that if of any character that would kind of figure out that hey, it's not Peter Parker, in the driver's seat, I would think it would be Matt Murdock. But even he's been fooled. I guess the switch, since it's just his mind is switched, I guess he can't really sense for that because his heart
patterns,
Yeah.
I would think that
the footfall, the heartbeats, the everything, the smell of him, it's all Spider-Man, but he knows that there's something off. And JD, you're going to talk about Avenging, but
yeah,
this week Otto's really not doing a very good job of getting Peter Parker.
No.
Yeah,
no.
but Daredevil is still awesome, still a fun book, and not going to say what happens in the end, but holy cow, did you read it, McFeely?
I did read it. I got it in my hands here. It was like, talk about Whiplash. So
the last page,
right? Man and Daredevil fought Stiltman for 20 pages, and then these last 2 pages are like...
punches you in the gut, yeah.
It's like,
I do love the image of...
Silver Age, swashbuckling superhero nonsense, but remember, death exists.
Yeah. But But I do love the image of Matt Murdock as a magician with Typhoid Mary and Karen Page. That was fantastic. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great book. You guys should be getting it. It's fantastic.
Bacon and Limburger cheesecake.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
call it the Froggy.
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh god. Yes.
Awesome. All right. Nicole.
Oh, just before we move off
Okay.
Daredevil,
Okay.
so just before we move off Daredevil, I just want to say again that Chris Samney is really killing the art on this.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Killing it on it. He's killing it
Oh, yeah.
on this book. I really was not sure about what would happen with Daredevil after we lost Rivera and Martin, but Samney has proved to be like a really good choice for this book, who is able to do the same sorts of things that they were doing, but do his own thing as well, and just not just look like a knockoff and just copying what they were doing. He's definitely proved to be the right choice. Who's still able to bring that simplistic line work, heavy blacks, Silver Agey look to it, without looking like dated or anything. Just he's really doing all the right stuff on the art with that book.
Yeah, it's in good hands, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Yes, Nicole.
Okay, the first one I want to say that I fairly enjoyed was the Black Beetle. This is not your DC Black Beetle. This is Dark Horse Black Beetle.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. But it's a very interesting crime drama about this new superhero. He's like an everyday man. You don't really know a whole lot about him, but eventually, by the end of the book, he's a good guy that's been caught to look like the bad guy. So basically, he's dealing with two mob families, and he's trying to get confessions out of both of them, and somehow he is set up to look like the bad guy. So it's really interesting with the artwork because as the Black Beetle, he has these buggy eyes that have like this orangey red shield on it. So the whole comic has like this orangey red tinge to it because it's the story through his eyes. And it's really kind of cool. The artwork is beautiful. Again, it almost has a Watchmen feel to it. So if you enjoyed the Watchmen, it's set like in the 1940s crime era. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a 4-issue miniseries. I'm definitely gonna be picking up the next one. So
Who's the creative team on that one?
It's mostly just one guy, Francesco Francavilla. There we go.
Oh, Francesco Francavilla. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's really well done. I like the artwork is. I just love the artwork in it. It's really pretty.
And you said it's an IDW book. You said it's not Image or anything like that.
No, it's a Dark Horse.
Oh, Dark Horse. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
So
what
it's
I
a-
know
it's a
that
real-
chap from.
Yeah, it's a really good crime drama. Yeah. So I'm excited to pick up the next one. I didn't think I wanted to pick this up, but I'm like, I need something new. And I'm like, I was really, really impressed with it. And the next one I want to mention is, because we're talking about Batman at the end of the show. Spoiler for the end of the show. I picked up Batgirl, and it's a really good companion with Batman since this one was supposed to be Gail Simone's last one. And let's just say the Joker is just insane. Okay? If you guys
Really?
haven't noticed. Yeah. If you guys didn't know, the Joker, like I said, is batshit crazy. See, that shit. Okay. Anyways. In this issue, he sets up a spontaneous shotgun wedding with Barbara herself.
I noticed that it's a shotgun wedding, but there was never a shotgun that showed up. That's kind of
There's a lot of other guns, and there's
other guns.
There's some knives, a baseball bat, a spear,
a chainsaw. Yeah, of course.
A little black book. No, it's really entertaining because you don't know what the hell he is up to, and Barbara is just scared but she doesn't stay scared for long. She's got to fight first. It's a really good companion book for Batman this month because there's a little twist too that involves a couple of her family members, and you're just like, what the hell? What's going on here? So
Yeah, like overall, I thought it was a good issue, but like if this was her last issue, oh my God, there's so many plot threads that have not been resolved.
Oh, there's
by
so
this
many.
Yeah.
There's so many questions.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a lot of things that involve her family, like what's going on with her mom, what the hell's going on with her brother. You know, you're just like, ah. So, yes, I thought it was really well done. But again, like you said, it leaves a lot of questions. But the best thing is you see this big gangster in a bridesmaid's dress crying. That's awesome.
You even said I would cry at weddings. I think
I
that
was
was
crying. It's this big, huge guy whose muscles, his arms are about as big as my thighs. He's dressed up in a bridesmaid's dress and crying.
Oh my God. It's brilliant.
Oh, I love that. And the artwork is beautiful in it. Of course, like, you can see, like, the Joker's face starting to decay as well. And,
Yeah, I saw that. That's nasty. It's like have a piece of dead skin stuck to your face for so long, you know. And I like that the art books is reflecting that.
Yeah, the artwork again. It's beautiful. It's very well done. So especially on the second page where Barbara's having her recurring nightmare. It's beautiful. So yeah, I suggest picking this up along with Batman.
Awesome.
There you go.
That's it. Sweet.
That's it.
That is it.
I need to go read this. I can't tell you all about it.
Well, no. So.
Yeah, go read it.
Okay, so one quick hit, both from Marvel this week for me. Awesome. First is Captain Marvel, which you ought to buy, you know, because this is a book that's been kind of up and down, but this issue is just great, and it's just one of the things I love about Kelly Sue's writing. It's sort of a day in the life, but not. It's basically her day gets rearranged by Tony Stark. And he's like, they have this great conversation at the beginning of this. First main thing I want to talk about is like the art in this, which is just off the hook. It's completely insane, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I love the new artist. I mean, that book has really that book stumbled out of the gate with art choice, but the Emma Rios was good. But this guy, and the problem is that I know this guy's going to divide, and I think sadly he'll ultimately probably wind up hurting the book. I've seen more dislike of his art online than I have
It's
posted in
yes.
favor of it. But
It is.
I really do like it. It's a very stylized. It's what I always call Latin American. I have no way of
Yeah.
actually summing it up, but
It's
this
impressionist almost. I mean,
slight left of manga.
yeah.
In style that a lot of Latin American artists like Humberto Ramos and Emma Rios and Paco Medina employ. So that's how I refer to it. It's probably really incorrect to refer to it like that. But he's more stylized. It's like, imagine Humberto Ramos, but like even more stylized and
Crazy, like
yeah.
contorted, limbs, and but it works. It totally works.
Yeah,
for
I
it.
agree.
So it's brilliant. I love it. But this conversation between like her and Tony Stark in here, where he's like, she's talking about all the stuff that she has to do. And he's like, you can do it, time management. And he's like, you don't manage your time. Pepper Potts manages your time. He's like, hey, I was smart enough to know that I needed her to manage my time. You need a Pepper Potts. That's what you need. But there's just some great bits in here, and my favorite part is like, she's going down the street between appointments, and there's two T-Rexes fighting each other in the middle of the street, like they do. Yeah. And she convinces some guy.
That happens. It's
Yeah.
block traffic all the time.
I know. She convinces a guy to like take her cat to the vet that she was taking it to by telling him it has something to do with Spider-Man and its official Avengers business. And then she says, no, if you'll excuse me, I need to go punch a dinosaur.
Yes.
But it's great. I mean, I know Chris mentioned something about the end may be a done story, and that's, okay. But we'll see where I'm willing to wait and see where it goes, but it's just, man, if nothing else, just check out the art and see if you like it, hopefully.
I need to get
open.
caught up on that book. I'm like 4 issues back on it. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
have not had time to read it.
This
And
issue
if
just grabbed me. I was like, this is fun.
I would like to see it succeed, but the sad thing about Captain Marvel it is already sales-wise dropping down to cancellation level.
Well, Captain Marvel, I think, has the same problem from a story standpoint that...
there was nothing there.
Well, that Iron Man has, in a sense, where it's like, Iron Man is like, got these amazing, this amazing suit, amazing power, and it's like, well, who do you have him fight? You can't have him fight bank robbers. And that's kind of what... Like Captain Marvel's been doing?
Mandarin. Real supervillain.
Yeah.
Not how they started off the series.
Do you think it's actually more connected with the name than it is the actual book? Because Captain Marvel never really sells well. It the Peter David book was excellent.
And Carol supported a book for 50 issues recently.
Yeah.
So, I think if there's a reason that this is going to lose it, it's because of that very bad start it had, where it did not present a story to the readers, a modus operandi, a hook going forward. It just said it was, look, Captain Marvel is awesome, and you should read this comic.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you that was basically what the first issue came out and said, but please bear with us on the art. It was also like a chronically mismatched choice that I think hurt it even more. And not to put too fine a point on it, but I think that Captain Marvel will float along for a couple of issues after it dips under where something would normally be cancelled because it's got a female lead character. And Marvel seem at the minute like they really want to show DC up with that.
Yeah.
You would like to think that they're just doing it because they want to have books with female lead characters, but let's be honest here. We know how this industry works and how there is one-upmanship and backhanded remarks back and forth between the two companies. DC caught hella flack for its lack of female characters with the launch of the New 52. So Marvel is doing X-Women. It's doing Fearless Defenders. Red She-Hulk's got a book now. Captain Marvel's got a book. I know there's some other examples that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Marvel are pushing that right now.
Yeah.
So I think Captain Marvel will float on for a little longer, but...
Well, I learned something today. I learned something that we all need a pepper pots, apparently.
You do.
We all need a pepper pots.
You need someone to, be able to handle your schedule like that. Okay, so what I actually wanted to talk a little bit more in length about, and I may indulge myself a little bit, is Avenging Spider-Man, because this is the book that's basically got a whole new face on it, where you've got Yost, Chris Yost is doing the writing, Paco Medina, that's right, Paco Medina, is doing the art, which great team on that. The art is really awesome.
I was gonna pick that book up, but my comic shop didn't have it. I was disappointed.
Bastards, because this is good stuff. So this is Superior,
I'm gonna have to Comixology that one.
This is Superior Spider-Man's first issue in the it's Ock's first run as Avenging Spider-Man, I guess. And wow. I mean, it's what we expect. Some of the stuff is the things I expect. Like, okay, a giant spider is attacking New York. Okay. And, Doc talks about things that he's done, like, he's set up trackers around the city, so when people get, really scared, it picks up on their emotional states, and he knows where there's trouble. I'm like, that's brilliant. Like, why hasn't Peter done this?
But he's like a villain
to be asking.
Yeah. So anyway, his first thought, of course, is kill this spider, and he has a little bit of trouble with it, where he talks about how he's still trying to fight his body. Of which the line "the die is cast" comes up in this as well.
Oh, did it? Oh,
yes. Yes, when he's fighting the spider.
It's gotta be a super villain catchphrase. Like they went to this meeting once, and they said, "Yeah, you gotta say the die is cast before you rob a bank or something." Y'all agree?
If I had to guess, I would assume that this is something that Slott came up with for Ock as Spider-Man, and that the other writers are playing with it and playing on it. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yes, he will say "die is cast" in my comic.
But
1,000 times it.
But we're teaming up this week, and I say that with air quotes, the X-Men. Because it turns out this giant spider thing has some sort of mutant trace to it. It actually, as Beast points out, has 3 traces. It has mutant, human, and spider DNA.
You don't say. Not in a Spider-Man comic.
Not in a giant spider.
Yeah. So anyway, they try to take it down, and of course, Spider-Man ends up helping a bit because they weren't expecting it to do things like shoot goo spit at them. And stuff. And he's a little bit sharper and, impatient. They kind of notice that he's sort of being an asshole.
Yeah, he's doing a very bad job of pretending to be Peter.
Yeah, he's not really in the Peter mode. I think he's so focused on fighting this spider that he's kind of lost like his focus on where he's supposed to be. And
Daredevil realized that he wasn't talking. He was silent. He knew something was off.
Yeah. But so anyway, Spider-Man ends up taking it, stopping it. But then, the most awesome scene happens, where Wolverine, tries to grab him and say, "Hey, listen up, bub," and Spider-Man beats the shit out of Wolverine. I mean, punches him, kicks him, dodges a hit, grabs him by the throat, picks him up, and head smashes him into the concrete. Badass. And
all is right in the world.
And the internal dialogue is Peter put up with this guy's bullshit for too long, and I'm the superior Spider-Man, and I'm gonna show him what's up. So that was awesome, and there was even a little bit of a question of after that of, dude, what is wrong with you?
And they nearly have Rachel scan his mind, and Ock realizes they've got a telepath on the team, and that this could be very bad.
Yeah, he realized that early. Yeah,
that's gonna happen sooner or later. Because a telepath will be able to figure that out. That's where he's vulnerable.
Yeah, because Wolverine
manages to turn on the Peter,
which is great. This is awesome. He's like, dude, use your Badger sense or whatever.
Badger sense.
He's like, you can smell me, I'm cool. But the coup de grace of the whole thing was, he's pretty much got everybody convinced, and then he ends it up with, besides, you can't tell me you never thought about beating up Wolverine. And they're all like, yeah, good point. Yeah, I'm thinking about beating him up now. Which was Bobby's response. I won't give away the complete end of this particular issue. I will say that the giant spider thing, once it was knocked out, turned into a naked blonde girl with no memories whatsoever.
And now she's a student at the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters.
Well,
right?
They couldn't quite figure it out because they're looking at it and it's like, well, and they're like, well, if it's DNA manipulation, that sounds like Sinister. He's like, but Sinister never was interested in human DNA or spider DNA. Who's interested?
Don't blow it
in those. So anyway, I'm not blowing it, but something to think about. So I'm very excited for that point. I mean, that is if they can do that as part of a story in Avenging, have that be a through line in Avenging, and leave that as a thing for Avenging, and leave that out of mainline Superior. That would be awesome. I would be totally cool with that.
If they could give Avenging a little bit more meat.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah,
it's not harm to Avenging. Avenging's always been entertaining, but it has always just been Spidey teams up with someone else from the Marvel Universe in a story that wraps up but has no consequences.
Exactly. It's been a lot of really one-off stories.
It's been actively identifiable as the throwaway Satellite Spider-Man book. It's the only Satellite Spider-Man book, which is why it sells.
Yeah.
But
Yost
nice
is
on. A little meat to it like that.
But Yost is on for this, y'all. You need to be reading this. It was a great issue. I was into it the whole way. So
yeah, I'm wanting to get it.
Good stuff. Awesome. All right. Yay! You're gonna buy something I recommend you buy.
I did that last week. Come on.
I know. I appreciate it. All right.
I'll eventually read Scarlet Spider. I just wait for it on sale or something.
Someday, yeah. All right, Chris McFeely, what you got, sir?
I'm first going to just say that Avengers Assemble was also very good this week. Just another shout out to Kelly Sue. This is just great stuff. Do you know what really surprised me about this issue? Was the fact that the story ended. And I was like, wait, this story is only 3 parts long? How will they make a trade out of it? I don't understand what is happening. I was like, well, we got a story that actually defined its own length by its content. Nice, I like it. So, it's very movie-esque in that you do have, like, the Hulk's in his little cage, and they do, and it's total rip-off the movie, they've got the villain in his lair, he's got his army of genetically modified, he's released the virus, and they're like, it's over, surrender, and he starts monologuing, oh no, I think not, you'll find who are men of it, and the Hulk just grabs him by the head and smashes him into a wall, and the fight is over.
Wow.
2 panels. Quam! Sure looks like it's over to me, says Captain America.
God.
I like how it looks like it's going to be the fun Avengers book. Like how Wolverine and the X-Men's the fun X-Men book? I think this is going to be the fun Avengers book.
And that is enough of an identity, frankly. It's like, we've talked before about how Avengers is the Avengers, New Avengers is the Illuminati, Secret Avengers is going to be the Nick Fury and Coulson book. Avengers Assemble is kind of left as the other Avengers book, but DeConnick has managed to give it enough of an identity as the fun one to actually validate its existence. I never thought that they could really find a place for this one, but
I love the end of it. The end of it's funny.
I don't know if we really want to tell people what happened, but let's just say that the Hulk back in the first part, the Hulk and Bruce Banner and Tony Stark made the bet. You remember, they would have a race to Antarctica to find their missing friend, and the one who lost would have to walk naked from the Baxter Building to the Avengers Tower and back. And, neither of them found him, so...
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
What are you saying?
Pixelated Hulk Wang.
Wow. Is that hulked out too, or?
It's pixelated. A lot of pixels.
Like, is it? Never mind.
Why are you so interested, JD?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I think Spider-Man needed a wide lens.
I think JD just became bi-curious.
Yeah.
Okay, but the book I'm actually going to talk about, I'm going to try and keep this brief because this is a very dense issue, is New Avengers number 2. We were not so sure off the back of New Avengers number 1. We figured it could go to good places, but it was a very issue that didn't really tell us an awful lot, and it really just got things rolling. And to be fair, this issue is almost entirely the Illuminati sitting around a table and talking. November did not write this, and you can tell because nobody eats breakfast at any stage. But
that sounds like a great episode of Star Trek or Star Trek movie or something,
But it's just remarkable is how what seemed so very confusing last issue, it is all laid out totally this issue, what is going on. And in brief, that is that the Black Swan and the characters who appeared last issue, when the Black Panther slid through into that little parallel dimension pocket, are characters from another planet, another dimension, another Earth. And some kind of instability in the multiverse is causing universes to collide with one another and destroy one another. And as a result of a cascading effect, you will remember the page that opened last issue where Reed Richards talked about how he knew that everything has an end and everything dies eventually. Well, we get that page in context this issue. And the fact is that because everything dies, all of reality, across all the multiverse, has one common endpoint, like nothingness, just absolute nothingness. All universes collapse and converge on that point of absolute nothingness at the end of all time. So if you imagine like a lattice of everything leading towards that one point, well, the destruction of a universe causes the ever so slight contraction of that lattice. And with escalating, like coalescing, cascading, collapse, universes are colliding, bam, 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 into one another and destroying each other, causing the encroaching end of the universe to slide that much closer towards the now.
That's bad, right?
That'd be pretty bad.
Imagine this Twinkie.
You can't imagine it's a Twinkie. You can't do that anymore.
Damn.
Some kind of fifth-dimensional hyper Twinkie.
Imagine a world where Twinkies are still made.
Right.
And that's
And that universe died, and so it's collapsing into our universe, and the universe and the end of the world.
The first thing to go.
the end of times event is triggered by the end of the Twinkie.
Right.
Oh God.
That's causing the universes to oh God.
Yeah,
If only we knew.
And the Illuminati essentially have to figure out how to stop it. But the Black Swan has something is doing this. This is not a natural phenomenon. Something is doing this. And she has warned Reed Richards that whatever it is, and I quote, "It breaks hope, it crushes what makes us decent, and steals what little honor remains." The basic thrust of it being that as long as they're willing to... Captain America delivers this preposterous Boy Scout speech about how he will not tolerate any talk of the necessity of necessary evil. And, like, Reed Richards and Black Panther and Tony Stark are just looking at each other out of the corner of their eyes and going, seriously? Fucking serious?
Yeah, okay.
And with the,
Thanks,
the thrust
Steve.
of the Black
Yes,
Swan
that's-
speech being that decency, it's going to, whatever this threat is, it is going to force you to do the abominable in order to save your world. She's not happy about the fact that that's what the Black Panther was seeing, was them destroying the universe that was about to collide with their universe, not Black Panther's home universe, not the Marvel universe, with this Black Swan's native universe.
Okay.
And that's the broad high concept of what is going on. And what they are going to do is, the only recourse they have is that they are going to reforge the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, damn, no.
Yep.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. They just don't have the gauntlet.
Yeah, they
Damn.
one gem though.
And
They're missing one gem, though.
They're missing Professor X's gem.
Damn, I need this book.
Yeah,
I need this like yesterday.
You didn't get this book, did you?
No, it wasn't
Oh,
in my
God.
shop.
Number one, just didn't get it this week because it wasn't in or something, right?
No, I'm adding it to the list though. Damn.
No, the first issue just kept things so very vague. This lays really all the cards are on the table. We get those little patented at the very end of the issue. We get those little patented looks into the future of, like, just as they're saying, we do not waver, we cannot fail. You just have to believe in the cause, believe in each other. It's all going to work out. As you see 4 giant half-page panels of blood, death, murder, stabbing, screaming.
God.
It's
It's
a
like
good time.
bad, yeah.
I mean, to be frank, the comic is completely worth. Like, there's some great stuff with Namor and Black Panther. Like, because obviously the fact that Namor has been allowed on Wakandan soil is a talking point after he just ruined it, decimated it, pushed it back to the Stone Age in Avengers versus X-Men. There's some great interaction there. Black Panther makes certain deadly promises after this is all over, and I'm like, that's gonna lead to bad places. But the entire comic, like, in all seriousness, it is worth it for this one single panel of Black Bolt alone. And I am not telling you what it is, but Triplet knows what I'm talking about.
One single panel of Black Bolt.
Which one is it?
Single panel of Black Bolt.
Which one?
Mm.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
Oh, damn! When it happens. I'm just going to put it to you this way. There's a speech bubble in that panel.
Yes, there is.
Oh no.
Oh, but it's not what you think. Oh, it's awesome. It is probably the moment, the most awesome moment out of all the comics I read this week. We weren't sure about New Avengers off the back of last issue. It was playing it very cagey. We just did not know what was going on. It didn't really feel like the story got started. I felt like it had a long way to go before it could close the gap between it and Avengers. Motherfucking book did a 500-yard dash, leapfrogged over Avengers, just disappearing off in the middle. Like,
See ya!
what is that? It is a dot. Holy crap, this was awesome. The high concept, the characters are also spot on as well, with all of it is very much the sort of threat they are dealing with in secret. This is what the Illuminati were formed for. Giant world-shaking threats that will drive the world at large to panic if they know they are going to happen, that a small group of men must deal with in secret. but like and pulling on all the old threads of the fact that they have the gems, the fact that they may be forced to use the gems, they want to use the gems. T'Challa and Reed Richards and Tony Stark, everybody is just so bang on. Even this one panel of Black Bolt is so bang on in the emotion he is expressing in response to the question that is asked. This is what I was expecting out of New Avengers, and so much more. Oh, next issue now. Can this be the bi-weekly one, and we can have the other? Just put the other one back to monthly. Can we juggle that? Because
what happens when the next book of Avengers comes out, and it's like as good or better than this? Are you gonna go, my mind can't take this. 2 books by Jonathan Hickman. Boom, boom. Ah.
Avengers 3 is next week. We'll find.
Half of your brain explodes out of one side of your head, the other half explodes out of the other half, and it's just...
It's that scene from Scanners. It's that scene from Scanners, that's what it is.
God.
Yeah. If you weren't convinced about New Avengers off the first issue, get this one. And if you're not off the back of this one, if you're not just like convinced in the concepts and the cosmology and the characterization that Hickman is bringing to the table for this small... I mean... Based on what we saw in New Avengers #1, where Cap has like a dream about the meeting of the Illuminati or something, I don't think Cap is sticking around for this story. And the twisted thing is, I'm not entirely sure Cap's going to remember this story when it's over.
Yeah.
Concerned about what might go down there.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, they are...
he doesn't seem like he fits on that team, you know what I mean?
Plus, they're one guy up. There are 7 of them.
Yeah.
There are only 6 teams. They don't need that flag guy.
Yeah. And he just doesn't seem like the kind of person that he's not going to do what's necessary, you know?
I mean, it's not like he doesn't deliver. It's a totally in character. As much as the speech about necessary everything it's totally in character. It may be like very naive a way of looking at things. This is not an arena Captain America plays in.
No, but I mean, it's like, this is way outside. He's a soldier, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we're talking about the things that, like, you know, people that run the world sit around and talk about. And this is a dude that's a soldier. He's way out of his element.
And he's not in any of these...
This is a whole different thing. No.
And when you say Cap's probably not going to stick around, he's not in any of those flashes of the future either. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he is.
Yeah, he's not there.
I don't see him.
Not dude. But I don't know. It's like, who's that? Who's Namor stabbing? Is that another planet? What am I looking at there? I don't know. And the thrust going forward is like, looks like Reed and T'Challa are going to be researching the bad end of things. I mean, Cap's like, we're not going to destroy a universe to prolong the existence of ours, is basically his position. We need to find another way to stop that. And Reed and T'Challa are like, just in case, guy, maybe.
Yeah. When it comes to that, better them than us, because we're us and they're them.
The first thing they have to do is find the mind gem, because Professor X is dead, so they need to find this gem. But I'm just note on the art as well, is that Steve Epting is, again, him and Hickman go together.
Killing it.
Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just there's a great panel in here as well. It's like when the Infinity Gems, that everybody produces their gem to confirm everybody's identity. I don't know, the gems seem to like be able to confirm the identities of, or make sure everybody is who they say they are. They obviously put these protocols in place after Secret Invasion and such things. Mm-hmm. There's a great shot of Black Bolt, the Midnight King, ruler of the Inhumans, and just like these little stars in the shadows of his face. Or when Doctor Strange announces himself as possessor of the Eye of Agamotto. I've never seen this visual before, but the eye appears on his forehead as like a literal, mystical third eye.
Oh yeah, they've been doing that. Eye. Yeah,
it's a haunting visual, but it's good.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. If you weren't sure off the back of #1, get this, because this is the blueprint for where we are going with this series. And if it's not your cup of tea, it is an entirely a talking head issue. And hang on, let me just see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
12,
18,
13.
19, 20, 21, 23 story pages in this issue.
Wow.
Not counting the two Hickman graphic intro pages that you always get in the Hickman comic, and the previously on page, which, as we know in the Avengers books under Hickman, are now comic pages themselves. So you're essentially getting 26 pages dedicated to the comic within this, as opposed to the usual 20. I mean, I'm figuring that they're just able to do that because they reused the page of Reed talking about how everything has an end from last issue, so technically there aren't any more pages than there should be in the comic, but it's a good, strong, dense book that'll take you a little while to read. It is a talking head book. It is like 6 guys sitting around a table talking. No breakfast is eaten, so you know it's not Bendis.
Oh, that's good.
But it is really, I think, the sort of high-level character conflict, cosmology stuff we can expect to see out of this book going forward, and I want more of it now. So
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah,
You'll just have
Before
to wait.
Before we leave it, I do like that the first page is like the panels that you need to read this book. You know, they don't just do the little block that says, previously on the Avengers, you actually get the panels kind of grayed out, so you know that this happened last issue. I like that.
these are officially the best previously on pages that Marvel are doing, because Marvel's previously summary pages are shite most of the time.
Yeah.
They are done by some assistant editor somewhere down the chain who copy pastes. Bendis's books are always particularly bad. Who copy pastes the same paragraphs over and over again. No sense of rewriting to try and make it a little pocket of prose. Just a bunch of copy pasted sentences that don't sum up and don't give you the important information at all. Journey into Mystery broke the mold with those, and Hickman is ensuring these things to make sure you genuinely get like the relevant information in comic form as well, not prose. Yeah, they're very good.
Cool.
I should also say, because when we're talking about recap pages, the Whacker office probably does the best recap pages in comics, right? With their little Daily Bugle style.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are very
those
cool.
do what they want. Yeah, those are always good. It's the whatever was coming out of the Avengers office when Bendis was in charge were some of the singular worst.
Yeah.
Recap pages going.
Excellent. Yep, I'll be commensologing that probably. Yes, comicsology. Yes.
I don't know what you're doing.
They
Do
all
it.
work.
Whatever it is, I got to read it. All right, let's move on then. As we move into the final part of our show, we are going to talk about Batman, and I will do the recap on this, I guess. Batman, except this is not like the '60s Batman at all.
Hey, do not knock down Adam West. He was awesome.
No, I'm just saying it's not that. It's not like that sort of happy-go-lucky. This is something else.
It doesn't end with everybody laughing or dancing.
No.
There is dancing involved, but it's creepy
No.
as hell.
No, yeah, there is dancing. So,
That's what this book needed. It needed shark repellents.
yeah, there you go. That, I will say that if you haven't read it and you're going to read it based on our talking about it, don't have a full stomach. That's probably a bad idea.
go for
Or don't
it.
be
Go for
eating
it.
while you're reading this issue. Cool.
Oh, JD, don't be such a whip.
Shut up! It's
Why?
great. It's screwed up. All right.
I love it.
Well, yeah, but you're like a freak. So, all right. Anyway,
You say that as a
Gosh.
not really. So, okay, we're gonna play Arkham Asylum for this issue, basically, and that's kind of what happens. Really, it's like, I mean, this all takes place in Arkham, and it isn't. I mean, I think of it in sort of an Arkham Asylum way, probably just because I've played the games, but I mean, essentially, the Joker is leading Batman through several sort of vignettes, I guess, different elements that he's set up, and he is in complete control of this part of Arkham. As we learned last time, he basically there was a wing that was being upgraded. There was some modifications that were maybe made to part of Arkham, and he basically put into play where there was a bunch of guards that no one would miss, guarding this section, and he took it over and has spent a lot of time prepping this part of Arkham that Batman is currently going through. And the first thing that he sees are there's several, I guess they would be cells that a person dressed as Batman and a person dressed as Joker are dancing behind. And he even
so sweet.
he even refers to it as the dance macabre, the royal dance macabre, which is an actual thing. The dance macabre, that's the dancing skeletons. So, but anyway, get ready for the ties to royalty as we go through this, which is called the Castle of Cards anyway. So, of course, Bruce's first thought is how he's going to free these dudes, because these poor bastards have been dancing like this for days in standing water because they're going to get electrocuted. So, EMP pulse, break the glass.
If they dance, then they get electrocuted.
Yeah,
right?
they
Is that
saw
what
the,
happens?
yeah. Well, the Joker is going to electrocute them, yeah. So, break the glass, throw in some water-absorbing pellets, and, yeah, EMP. So, okay, cool, you beat that trap. So his first goal is to try to get to Jeremiah Arkham's internal control center, which is where he figures Joker will be. He's not going to take the elevator shaft because that would suck. Because you're going to get trapped. So he's going to go the slow way. Beautiful panel of, you see this light down this long hallway, and and Batman is beautiful image of Batman being confused, where it's like the one eye squinting, looking like, and then even he's like, "What in the hell?" Yeah, it's a horse on fire.
Jesus.
I mean, it is literally like a horse on fire. I mean, the art is amazing, but it's also sickening as well, where you just sort of see the meat cooking as the horse goes running and then runs off the railing. So, second battle for Batman is to face a bunch of, the inmates in riot gear and flaming clubs and swords and stuff.
It's like a ton of people, like a whole bunch of people.
It's a lot.
I love the image because he's like right in the middle of it, and he's like, Joker's talking about, you got to fight your knights, they're inmates and all this stuff, and Batman's just like, come on then, come on,
bring
he's
it.
Like ready to fight.
He's beat all these people before. There's no, So he of course takes a few hits, but he manages to take them all down. The last one by the horse charging at him with the dude on it, and he punches the horse to stop it.
God.
And the
So
dude
Batman punched a horse.
Yeah.
Do you think Pete is going to be
horses.
after him after this issue?
Maybe.
Like
If it was
It's gonna be a
real.
controversial
Scott
issue for
Snyder's
next
puppy.
week.
It's all fictitious. I mean, it's not like it's not even like real horse. It's all drawn. And I love this image of Batman on the horse.
Yeah.
Like, just the art of it just looks really great. So next thing is the horrible, horrible thing. Joker's made a tapestry of images from him and Batman's past. A royal tapestry. Now, that doesn't seem so bad, does it? Except for the canvas. The canvas is skin of people sewn together that are alive.
And screaming.
Yeah.
Come on, I've already seen this. I watched Human Centipede. Not a biggie.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, but still, this is just... I mean, even the Joker was like, I was going to do Dead. Let's see, where's... Oh, God. He's like...
Did like when I first saw it, I didn't catch that it was human bodies, and then people, and then I got to the bottom of the panel, and you see them all sewed together, and they're like saying, "Hail the Bat King, hail the Bat King," and I did another look, I was like, "Oh God, that's their feet tied together at the top." Holy
So the Joker's
shit.
like, a tribute from your faithful, a little help from the doll maker, of course, and my, does he enjoy his work. I thought Dead would be better, but he put tubes in the stomach, and voila. Ha! That was the part where I thought I was going to be sick, because I'm like, oh my God. They're keeping these people alive. Ugh. Yeah, and they're all Hail the Bat King, so whatever. Alright, cool, so you saw the screwed up stuff. It's on to our first boss fight. In Arkham Asylum, which Batman knows is coming too, which is great because he's like, "All right, I'm getting up there too fast. He's gonna start throwing people at me," and he throws Freeze at him. Ha.
That was the best boss fight in Arkham City. That was the best one.
That was Arkham City. That was a pain in the ass, is what that was. Took me forever.
Oh, it wasn't. That was a fun one.
It was fun. It just took me forever. So anyway, yeah, a little bit of fighting, a little bit of freezing, a little bit of breaking the helmet, and put the hot tab on his suit.
A little bit of freezing. The head of a horse and shattering it. Yeah, Scott Snyder hates horses.
What does this thing have against horses? Seriously,
There's a lot of horses that died.
That's what I'm saying. You wanted your controversial issue or controversial problem for this week? I bet you this will probably come up next week.
God. Yeah. So anyway, he puts this, I don't know what it is, hot disc on his suit.
It's like a bat hot disc.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like upstairs, and I was like, "Why isn't Freeze following him? They're not just going to write it off like that." And he's like, "Don't move, and it might not burn through your chest plate."
Yeah.
So next up, he has to fight Jim Gordon.
Yeah. Crazy drunk-looking Jim Gordon.
Yeah. Which is actually Clayface. So, so fights him, and he did him pretty good, with one shot.
I love how Jim Gordon pops out with the gun and says, "Don't move, Batman." And he grabs his arm and twists it.
Yeah.
The guy's screaming. He's like, "What are you doing? I thought we were friends." He just knows. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, he's like, "You're not Jim Gordon, whatever." So Scarecrow is in this as well, of which he just shoves him into the wall, I guess, which is awesome.
He sticks his fingers in his mouth or something.
Yeah.
And throws him into the wall or something. Oh God!
I mean,
he's Batman's rogues gallery are being defeated within panels.
Yeah,
all these guys that have fought him for 60 years, knocking him out panel after panel.
Yeah,
it's
so just merciless. I mean, he's just fighting towards his end because he knows that the Joker
has force of nature stuff.
Yeah, whatever the Joker is setting up, he knows that he's running. That he's showing up ahead of time, basically, and so he's trying to beat him to whatever it is he's trying to do. Which we finally get to, which is the royal court that has been set up.
I love this.
So we have Penguin as a pope.
That's the bishop, isn't it?
Bishop, yeah, basically. We have Two-Face as a judge. We have Riddler as a advisor. Joker as the jester, of course. And then the other courtiers, which is, I don't know, random people that he's put into Aquaman, Superman, Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman costumes.
If you want to see what I ever look in a swimsuit, there you go.
Wow. And then, in a stone, there's a chainsaw with electric hooked up to it. Wow. So anyway, so Joker, of course, introduces the court and everyone, and he's talking about how, there was who would take the throne and who was worthy, and he has the dude dressed as Superman try to take the chainsaw out of the stone. And he's like, well, was it going to kill me? And he was like, maybe. Was it? Maybe. Maybe not. You never know until you try, Big Blue. The current goes on and off at random. Go on now. You live, I'll set you free. Free as a bird. He gets shocked to death. And this is the first shot where you really get to see the face. And it's something we were talking about earlier. Joker's face, where you can just see how much decay is happening to this face. Because it's, at first...
The flies is what you really notice.
The flies are just, But in this, you can see it starting to turn kind of green. Because at first, it's kind of like, you don't think about it. It's like, the face looked fine because it's been on ice, for a year or whatever. But it's not living tissue. It's the blood vessels aren't hooked up. It's definitely dying, and it looks nasty. So Wonder Woman's about to be up next before Batman finally comes through and puts a stop to everything, and cuts the electric line basically to stop the whole chainsaw insanity. But of course, the Joker reminds him that he has basically the rest of the Bat family tied up, and so there's our little tie-in to what's going on in some of the other books.
I think all of the tie-in books from this month have ended with that.
Yeah.
That's what they've all ended with the guys waking up in shackles or whatever.
So, and then we have like the most like intense moment here where he's telling Batman to take his throne, which looks like an electric chair basically. And very intense Joker in this where he's
I love this panel.
It's just you can see just the spit and the face and the whole combination. I mean, he tells him to sit down, but he doesn't say it that way. It's more awesome.
I think they shouldn't have held back. I think that he should have.
I don't know why he didn't. I guess so. Yeah, I was a little surprised by that being.
It's like the little, the number sign.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that being censored. I didn't.
He should have said whatever he was saying. Whatever word you can imagine whatever it is.
Yeah.
He should have said it.
Yeah. So Batman gets sat down and shocks the hell out of. So we'll stop there. We'll go to the backup here in a minute. But wow, Tapestry o' people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your takeaway.
I mean, we can see this like weird setup where it's like Joker sort of sees himself in this royal setting almost, but it's just like I can't. I mean, I'm just wow. I don't know what to. I mean, he's gone to a lot of work to set this up. I mean, you can see. I mean, I guess this is what he's been doing for a year. Not all of this, but just all of this this setup and leading up to this, and it's just I still don't know. I think you mentioned, Chris, like I don't know how this is going to go. Like I don't know how this is going to turn out.
I don't know how this is going to end. Like I was saying. How does this not end with the Joker dying? It's like he has gone too far. It's like you can't like put the genie back in the bottle at this point. It's like he's, it's like somebody. It's like he either has to die or someone has to kill him or something. But then, oh God, you really can't see where this is going to go.
No.
Well, see, the thing that gets to me is that both this one, because there's another short story here. This story and Batgirl ended the same way, and it makes you wondering what's going on.
Well, let's go ahead and I guess we'll move on and finish the whole thing here. Where in this backup judgment, which is also written by Snyder, just different art. There's basically like the trio of other villains here is kind of like cool. So we get to kill him now, right? And they're like Joker's like no, I've got other stuff going on. So anyway, thanks guys. And Two-Face in particular is not going to have that, like he wants to really have it out with with Batman, really finish it off. And even Penguin is like he drops a cage basically on them, of which Penguin does not want to be there, offers money, tries to get Riddler to find a way to get them out. Joker, had pre-planted a knockout device so that he could, basically knock the Riddler out, so that he couldn't find a way out to buy himself some time.
Yeah.
But then, the big part of this, I think, is this 2 pages here with Harvey, which is like, oh damn, you just spelled it out. Where, Harvey's like talking about how, they have a right to do this. And Joker's like, you don't have a right to shit. He's like, you're pathetic.
I love how Harvey has his gun still. He's in the cage.
Yeah.
Clear shot. He can shoot Joker.
Well,
Joker basically talks to him.
Oh, man.
His gun down.
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole deal. I mean, he first of all, he calls him into question, right? Because he's like, he keeps calling him Harvey. He's like, I'm Two-Face. And he's like, oh, whatever. You're Harvey because, yeah, okay, you got a little acid on you, and so you decided to become this, like, symbol of ultimate justice with your two sides of the coin. And then he goes on and starts to talk about how there's all this, all the insanity and, like, the meaninglessness of justice. And, he's like, Like, yeah, you've got a gun and you could shoot me, but maybe I did something in your suit, or maybe I did something to the gun. Maybe it shoots backwards. Maybe it shoots regular. Maybe it blows up. Maybe it's a fake gun. I don't know. Maybe you want to flip your two-sided, your multi-sided coin and see, what possible outcome you're going to have. I mean, just dresses Harvey down completely. Basically just spits in the face of everything that the character is, and in that sense, it's sort of like, yeah, how do you get a little acid on your face and lose your shit, It's like, this is something that was always in him, and he just wanted an excuse to be, to be crazy, is basically what Joker tells him. And, and Joker also sort of just basically is like, look, it's not all one thing or the other. There's not always, two possibilities. There's, tons of possibilities. But then, of course, the final thing, he presents the whatever it is, and he shows the other guys what is on the platter. He shows the Penguin and Two-Face. And
it's like a dinner tray with a top, and he takes the top off, and he shows them, and they're just kind of shocked. And Penguin's like, oh Lord, and Two-Face is like, you've got to be kidding, And this is the scene, like I was talking to you about earlier, where I was like, okay, if it's Alfred's head that's under that platter,
yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. At
I
that
don't think
point.
I can go there.
I'm done with Scott Snyder's Batman if it turns out that it's Alfred's head under that platter.
I don't know. We haven't seen Alfred since.
We've not seen Alfred since he kidnapped him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is how Batgirl ends as well.
Right.
Yeah,
so
Batgirl ends the same way.
So it would seem
Robin
that
does too.
so it would seem that that's not it. That it may be something else. But
it could be something that's important to all of them, and who's important to the Bat family. Alfred.
Yeah. I mean, so
that's something he could show it to all of them, and they would all get a reaction. Oh God.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If it's Alfred's head, I'm done. I am done. I'm telling you this right now, Scott Snyder. If you've written the next issue, next issue's already written, you might want to rewrite it because I'm done. If it's
I think that would be a bit too far. But I think my thing with it is like I still have to
if it is his head, then by God, kill the Joker.
There were several times like reading this issue, I had to stop and be like, this is Batman. This is like regular DC Batman. Because so much of this stuff feels like some sort of hardcore Elseworld story or something,
Yeah, like, dude, when you're reading this, it feels like Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing. It's gross and it's grimy as shit. It's like he's coming from that same place. It's like these both belong in Vertigo or something.
I'm scared of. I am terrified of the things in Scott Snyder's head now.
Yeah.
Just visions of dead horses.
Lots of dead horses.
Many
What
dead
is
horses?
so many, man?
I
Burning
wonder if it's
horses.
just
Like
My Little Pony
next
movie.
issue, that horse is gonna get nailed to something because he got burnt this issue.
God.
He got frozen and his head shattered.
Well, those were different
Maybe
horses,
he's just
but yeah.
rebelling
But
against the bronies. He's just rebelling against
there
the
you go.
bronies.
That's what it is.
It's an anti-MLP statement. It's what Scott Snyder's making.
Yeah. Screw you all.
How dare you sell 100,000 copies? This is what comics should be. Stupid horses!
Yeah. Damn you, horses. Wow. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, I really had to put the book down, and I kind of felt sick for a little bit with the tapestry
Really?
thing. Like, literally.
I was like, oh my gosh, I was so excited when I saw this. I'm like, this is awesome. Joker's absolutely insane. I like him this way. This is how.
I couldn't go that far. It was like I was still just thinking about a wall of people sewn together. It wasn't like I didn't get the far as like, oh, this is something Joker did and it's crazy. I couldn't get past these are living people sewn together to make a picture.
It is crazy. It's crazy and it's awful and everything. And when I read it kind of late. I did kind of wonder when I went to bed. I was like, God, am I going to dream about this? And if I am, what am I going to dream about?
God.
I did dream about it, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't thankfully either, but it still was very disturbing to me. Whoa. So.
See, I read a lot of gory stuff, so I was more infatuated. I know that tells you about my brain, but I just thought that was really crazy. I loved it.
Remind me not to be alone with you, Nicole. Man. You know what would be great? Guts all over the walls.
You what this room needs?
Need some
More
intestines.
Horse heads.
Horse heads, yay! Burning horse heads.
Do you think he got his idea from The Godfather?
No, I don't want to know where he got his ideas. Honestly, I just don't want to know. Don't want to know.
What you're saying is that's
Scary.
what's going to happen to the rest of that horse. Batman's going to wake up and it's going to be in his bed.
God. I don't know. The thing about Night of Owls, Night of Owls was all a little more, it was like story. Like there was a lot. It was more about like the event. What are the owls? Why are they coming here? Is this Court of Owls a real thing, or is it something
Is it all
that's just trying
Batman's
to be?
head,
Yeah,
maybe?
how much is it Batman's head? What's the deal? Whereas this is just, this is just the Joker, who's been gone for too long and really just lost his shit.
I can't imagine where like Scott Snyder goes with this story. Like next issue's the last issue. Where does he go after?
Yeah, what's the next?
How does he move on?
But now he says he's right. I'm interested because he did say that he came up with the idea and pitched it and it passed. Like I remember, him talking about that a couple months ago. So obviously there is a place, but it's just like I don't even know. I don't want to know. It's like, yeah. Do you go for a smart story? Do you go for I need something lighter? Maybe not funny. I just need something that's not.
Do we get a story where Batman and Robin stops a bank robbery?
I just don't.
Do we get the story where Two-Face nails a horse to a wall?
God, I just need something that's not going to make me vomit. God, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
it's like rolling. It's like rolling the dice.
God, you need to choose your own adventure.
One thing you can probably be sure of, though, is that this is it for the Joker as far as Scott Snyder goes. This was his Joker story, and he probably won't feel the need to do any more Joker stories in the length of time he's
but I
on.
love this Joker.
No, I think he'll be dead and gone for a while.
I'm starting to get
where I would
in
like to
on
see
this
it
thing.
go?
It's I don't feel like
The one
this
thing
is
I'd like to see. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I still don't know what they were planning with the whole face removal thing originally, and we've said before that did seem like a sort of aborted plot point. But Snyder has at least. It's not just a case of he's gone back and just taped his face back on. It was it put me. I was talking to somebody about this week, and it did put me in mind of Morrison's treatment of the Joker as well, where there was the prose issue, The Clown at Midnight of Morrison's Batman early on in his run, where he wrote following up on the idea that he had in Arkham Asylum that the Joker has personas that he actively changes his entire identity and method of operation and outlook and everything as part of a way of just dealing with super sanity. It was called in Arkham Asylum, where the Joker constantly reinvents himself to deal with everyday life. And because there have been a lot of contradictory depictions of the Joker in 70 years, and Morrison did a prose issue which was about the Joker transforming into the Joker from Morrison's run, and I feel like this is what Snyder has done again with this. Whereas the removal, he's said it in the issues, the removal of the face was the Joker's last transformation. It was the final removal of everything left in him that pretended to be human, and that's why Joker is doing these truly horrifying things now like never before, because there's nothing human left in him anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, earlier we were talking about the cover, how he's got different items from each of the Bat family. I just realized, would that white glove be considered Alfred's?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
But talking about where Snyder goes with the book after this, after reading that backup, I kind of would like to see him explore Two-Face.
Yeah, that seems like it could be interesting.
How is Two-Face made relevant now? Because Joker deconstructs him into nothing in just 3 pages.
Yeah, completely dresses
So,
him down. Yeah.
So after that, does that make Two-Face in the Scott Snyder world?
Yeah, that could be interesting. I mean, obviously it's a big world, and there's lots of stuff and places that he could go and make even new characters if he wants to. So, but yeah. Well, let me tell you, you should be reading this, and if you're not, then get your trades, because, man, this is going to have some, I think, some long and lasting effects. At least as long as Snyder's around, this will be stuff that I think they'll be, long term that Batman may be dealing with, especially if, as we maybe don't hope, that I can't decide how I want. I can't decide if I'm how I feel about like a dead Alfred for a while,
God, dude,
man.
I don't.
No.
Don't
it's not
speculate yet.
No.
Don't speculate
Yeah,
yet.
dude. At this point, like I really like Damian as Robin, but dude, Damian before Alfred.
Yeah.
I
Damian
cannot
before
stand
Alfred.
Damian.
Yeah.
I cannot stand Damian.
I like Damian.
Take that
I like
kid
it.
and just.
Damien's not going to die because
No.
Morrison.
Oh.
If anybody kills Damien, it'll be Morrison over in Batman Inc. But,
Yeah.
And that might happen, actually, the way Batman Inc.'s going.
yeah.
So, awesome. Well, there you go. Batman. People sewn together.
I would love to see someone do a cosplay of this Joker.
I want to see somebody do a cosplay of the tapestry. That's a...
Jesus.
Oh, God! JD, you talk about a nightmare. If you bring this thing into reality...
Oh,
off
then
the
you're
comic
really...
page, I will have nightmares.
Yeah.
Nobody do this.
As
Can
long
we
as
delete this podcast?
What, as
Let's
long as
delete
it-
what you just said.
As long as it's drawn, it's okay. See, that's the thing is, like, I always picture this stuff in reality. I can't keep it on the page,
I can separate it because it's drawn, but Jesus, you bring that into reality, then you are talking about Human Centipede, and I
Yeah.
don't want that in this world.
Don't make it a real thing! Oh, God. So... Yeah, the cosplays for this Joker are going to be interesting, though, to see people start to do those.
Yeah, I can't wait till Comic-Con. Oh, my God.
Ugh,
They're-
yeah. New York Comic Con is next, right? That's pretty soon. I think.
Yeah, is it?
I think so.
Yeah, a couple months. So cool. All right. Well, any announcements? Anything else coming up that we should mention?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, very good. All right, so that is our show. Go to the website, fanboyversus.com. You can follow us on Twitter at fanboyvs. You can go to your Android phone or app device and download our app. So you can just search for Fanboy Versus there. So you can get the show when it's available. It'll let you know. Sometimes we do the show live. We didn't do it live this week. We're working on some setup stuff. So when we do the show live, it is on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT. And you can go to tfradio.net/live to get that. So, yeah.
Do it now.
Anybody doing any other podcasts? Anybody going to be on anything this week?
Not this week.
No? Okay. Cool.
Nothing going on.
Well, I will not be on Superhero Time this week, so, yeah, because there is no Superhero Time this week, so.
Oh, I did do a podcast that Amy has put out where we reviewed a Rescue Bots episode.
Oh, sweet.
And I'm pretty sure on one of the outtakes she'll put me on me geeking out over the Sgt. Pepper cover of Transformers Robots into More Than BCI's number 12.
Awesome. Yes. Cool.
You guys see me totally geek out.
Awesome. So you did get your cover for that?
I have not been able to find it anywhere.
Oh,
None of my
no.
comic book shops got it, and so
Ooh.
Maybe you can get a poster of it. A poster would be nice.
Yeah, a poster.
I would love to have a poster of it.
I saw someone did, I don't know who did it, but I saw someone did the cast of More Than Meets the Eye, but as animated characters.
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
Oh,
That was pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah. So that was on, I don't know where I saw that. It was on Twitter, but I can't remember who.
I love how little of a stylistic leap it is.
Yeah, I know. It was actually really kind of unsettling in a way. It was like, oh, that's really close.
You have to sort of look at it. You just look at it twice before you realize.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So.
Why did you see? Oh,
Oh, it's animated. Oh. So, all right. Well, for everybody, thank you. Thanks for tuning in, and please Tune in next time when it'll be Fanboy Versus.
This has been Fanboy Versus. Visit us at tfradio.net for show notes and to subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at tfradio for news and updates. Like the podcast? Leave us feedback on iTunes. Copyright 2011 Radio Free Cybertron.